Good morning, everyone. Once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we appreciate you coming on, saying hello. I love to say hello. I know I miss some of you guys, but it's always nice to do our little meet and greet. Kevin from snowy Oshawa. Okay, Nick from our staff. Francis Marie. Jen, good morning. From the gym. Okay, good place to be. Brahim, Portland, Oregon. Rosa, Nativity, good morning. And Nellie, good morning. And Jeanette from our staff. Wendy, Marco, snowy, eh? Laura, New Liskard. Keith, Bell River, good morning. Anne, how are ya? Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Mary, and Chantal, Ottawa, good morning. Karen, how is you? Anne, nice to have you on. Fran, Orangeville. Hey, you guys are getting snow in Ontario. Sue, good morning from Bolton. Susan, Maryland. Kelowna, British Columbia. Bonnie, good morning. Ruth Ann, have a nice day. Yeah, we try to. Joe, Duncan, BC. Karen, good morning. Renee, Newfoundland. We appreciate you guys. Karen from Coldwater. And Donna, Jocelyn, Baxter, Lorraine, British Columbia. Coast to coast, guys. Diane, North Bay. Dorothy, hello. And John from snowy in Elgin, Illinois, too, isn't it? Dr. McEwen, good morning. David, Uganda. Wow. Sue, good morning. Serpa, snowing in Dowling. Louise, we appreciate it. Joanne and Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Okay, Marjorie, good morning. Lori Lee, Ventura, California. And Judy from Newfoundland. We appreciate you guys from Newfoundland and coast to coast. Kim, good morning from New Brunswick. Janet, Thunder Bay. And Wanda from Virginia. Faith, Babika, good morning. And IT. Okay, one more, then we get going. Rita, good morning to you. Okay, so since Monday, we've been talking about brain health, and today we're going to finish up this segment on brain health, okay? So what do we do? Well, we started Monday morning. A few days ago, we talked about cognitive decline and a lack of protein. We started with that. And this morning, I want to get into, okay, what do you and I do? What do we do to make sure that we preserve our brain, especially the memory center, okay? Now, some of this obviously is repetition because as we talked about the causes of cognitive decline, okay, we talked about insulin. I always put insulin at the top of the food chain because it's really food. So we talk about insulin resistance, and what that does, it creates inflammation in the body. Inflammation is the fog of war. Your brain cells can't communicate properly with each other. There's fog in between the neurotransmitters, your brain cells. So insulin, okay? We'll go over that a little bit. And then we talked about amyloid plaques and tau proteins and, you know, how medicine got sidetracked by that. And, you know, they've been looking for medications, and it's been an abysmal failure. Medications for memory have been unbelievably bad. Failure after failure. And, I've been saying it for so long that it's because they're looking for love in all the wrong places. They're not getting at the root issue of what's causing cognitive decline. Now, we talked about vitamin D and a few other things. The mitochondria within the brain, the fuel cells. Okay. So what do you and I do? What do you and I do? Okay? So if you're taking notes, you start in the kitchen. Insulin. Get it down. Insulin is your friend until it's not. Insulin is your friend until it's not. You do not want to overuse insulin. We call that insulin resistance. High circulating insulin. It ain't good. It ain't good. So, I know it sounds almost simplistic, but at the end of the day, your brain, it will operate on sugar, but it is not by far not the best fuel for your brain. Get off the carbs, get off the sugars, and to preserve your brain. The Alzheimer's has been named, they forget this, but it has been named type 3 diabetes. Not type 2, but type 3. Meaning food. Okay? So, now, the other thing is, so right out of the gate, the best place to start to protect your brain is in the kitchen, guys. It's in the kitchen. Number 2, we talked about this too, leaky gut, leaky brain. So what's that mean? Well, probiotics. Probiotics. Probiotics are absolutely essential, especially in the day and age which you and I live. We live in a different world. We are over-medicated. We are just sugar. What yeast? Yeast needs to be fed. If you don't feed it, that's half the battle. Okay? So fungal, what leaky gut produces in the body is an invasive species involved in cancer, mental health, Alzheimer's, because yeast spreads, fungus spreads, and it takes no prisoners. It can be very invasive, and it'll cross the blood-brain barrier. Yeast will cross the blood-brain barrier. And so the same way you protect your gut with probiotics, you replace the friendly bacteria. We live in an overzealous world. It bothers me because it's not good science, but we live in an overzealous world focusing on viruses and bacteria. Focus, 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 focus. They don't talk ever about the immune system and what it does. I watched a video this morning, and I'll show it to you at a later date. But I've shown you this on a live blood where a white blood cell is chasing a bacteria, okay? Then they showed, on this one, it showed an immune cell, unreal, chasing bacteria. It was like a white ball, and it was propelling itself, and you could see it chasing the bacteria. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't believe in God, I feel sorry for you. No, and I mean that. Because when you look at, the better the microscopes become, when you can get detail like this, and you watch a white blood cell or your immune system turning upon a bacteria, you just shake your head and go, unbelievable how the body works. And yet, here we are in a day and age where they're still talking. And it'll happen every year, guys. The flu season is coming. It's amazing. Through the virus, we didn't have the flu anymore. At least that's what they said. And I'm not talking about anything they're talking about. Okay? You guys, they can talk whatever they want. Social distancing or whatever they want to do. But all I'm telling you is, why don't we put an emphasis on making sure our immune system works properly? And even then, your immune system will take care of yeast if you give it the right tools. There's nothing that will put your immune system to sleep and not working like sugar does, like crappy carbs do. Okay? So eat right, my friend. Don't follow the food pyramid. Ooh, I can't get over it. How they're so upside down. Okay? Now, so start in the kitchen, my friend. Then think of gut. Think of yeast. Think of that invasive army. Most people, they have no idea they have leaky gut. Because unless they have digestive symptoms, leaky gut, a lot of people, they don't have any digestive symptoms whatsoever. But they can still have leaky gut. Leaky gut, leaky brain. Your brain health depends on you and I protecting our blood-brain barrier. What happens in the gut happens at the brain level. Okay, let me say this again. What happens in the gut? Let's say you have leaky gut. And, okay, I'm putting my fingers together here. Okay, see? And your gut and your blood has a barrier there. It's microscopic. You don't see it. But that barrier has to be very tight-knit so that only micro-sized nutrients get in there. Water, vitamins, minerals, proteins, fat, micro-sized. It belongs in the blood because the life of the flesh is in the blood. Therefore, your blood will take all your nutrients and bring them to your cells from your head to your toes. Leaky gut is when this gets compromised, okay? What I'm showing you now, for my friends listening on a podcast, I've unseparated my fingers. They're not locked together tightly. So what leaky gut is, okay, there's no border guard. So what you see here where my fingers, so what gets into the blood? Yeast, bacteria, viruses, toxins. It doesn't belong in your blood. It doesn't belong in your blood. It's garbage. It belongs in the toilet. But most people are compromised at this level. And what they don't realize, okay? What they don't realize, what's happening in the gut is happening in the brain. Because if you have leaky gut, see the fingers spread apart, not tightly, but spread apart. It's the same thing. Here's what we've learned. We never knew this. that your blood-brain barrier is the same as your blood-gut barrier. It can be compromised. Now you have toxins that get into your brain. They don't belong there. You have a barrier. It's made up of a microbiome. It's amazing. It actually communicates. You have a blood-brain barrier that communicates with your gut. They talk to each other. Fascinating. These little bacteria, they have little radars and communication devices, and they talk to the gut. I guess we're compromised. And then you see things getting into the brain. How does that happen? What is the result of it? Well, like what I have said, it's got to be over 40 years ago. When I first said, when you see MS, and when you see Parkinson's, and ALS, on the weekend I was watching a video actually of, there was he used to be a real, one of the best defensemen in the NHL, Borje Salmi. And they were celebrating. He's got ALS. He can't even talk anymore. And it was so moving to watch the fans in Toronto just give him a standing ovation. And, you know, he's fighting ALS. And my word, what a terrible disease. But my friend, what happens in the brain? What happens there? It's toxins that get into the brain. They don't belong there. They cross the blood-brain barrier, the BBB. The BBB. And you got toxins. And the idea of probiotics, you see, like the same thing that knits, probiotics help to re-knit this, okay? They, you know, the fingers are going back into a tight-knit mesh. And that's what your barriers do. The gut, blood, and the blood-brain barrier. That's what probiotics do. The more they study probiotics, the more they realize, holy moly, talk about, you know, essentials. Here we are scrubbing ourselves to death, killing everything, over-cleaning everything. We're meant to live with bacteria, my friend. That doesn't mean you never wash your hands. But you don't want to over-clean. How many times have I said that? Okay, so start in the kitchen. Start in the kitchen. Get your insulin down. 1. 2, remember the connection between the gut and the brain. It's so key. And you have now in medicine, the new research is being done on the microbiome, my friend. And it's key, okay? Now, thirdly, 2 vitamins that are essential. Well, 4. 2 vitamins that are vitamins and 2 others that are Martin Clinic vitamins. Okay? You guys know what I mean by that. So, what do we talk about all the time? For everything in your body. I just don't know how to emphasize this enough. And that is vitamin D. Viderma. The sun. The sun and the brain connection. There's nothing that your brain loves better than sun? You got a third brain. They call it the pineal gland. Melatonin is made. Your third gland, the pineal gland. And you need sleep. Okay, I was going to talk about sleep later. Okay? And we talked about it. The lymphatic system, the drainage system. We'll get to that in a minute as part of our closing arguments on brain health. Okay? So, let's get back to those vitamins. Vitamin D, you're a solar panel, my friend. Your brain's a solar panel. Your brain works better with vitamin D. It's very, very, very anti-inflammatory, vitamin D. It really is a biomarker that everyone should know what their vitamin D levels are in their blood. They're dehydroxy 25. I tell you, medicine, in my opinion, has made a huge, huge boo-boo. Because they have mischaracterized vitamin D to the peril of the population. Medicine, if they would only read, if medicine would just keep up to date and don't be so biased against vitamins, they would realize when they read the studies on vitamin D, it is an essential, it really isn't a vitamin, by the way. It's a hormone. Your body needs vitamin D. And the lower your vitamin D is, the less your brain will perform, even the memory center of the brain. I say it, I say it, I say it. Vitamin D. Vitamin D. And most people, 80 to 90% of the population, do not have optimized vitamin D. They're sucking for vitamin D because they don't have enough of it. And the sun has become the boogeyman, and it causes cancer, and it ain't no good for you, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, okay? Now, the other one is B12. Guys, you can take a B vitamin. A lot of people do. I'm not that big on that. I'm very specific. I love B12 because I was in practice a long time. And I realized that most people were very deficient in B12, or they had very low levels of B12. And your brain needs B12. And when you avoid steak, because a lot of people do, red meat, that's no good for you. Hey, well, my friend, that's what's got B12 in it, red meat. I'm sorry, chicken don't have B12. Chicken and salad don't have B12. And B12 is essential for your brain to function, especially the memory center. The neurotransmitters in your brain need B12, okay? B12 elevates your nitric oxide. What does that mean? Well, B12 elevates your vascular system. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. You're going to get more blood supply to the brain with nitric oxide, my friend. So B12 and vitamin D. Now the other two vitamins that are vitamins at the Martin Clinic, but they're essential. Vitamin C, coffee, and I mean it. Folks, listen. Listen, Linda. Listen. Okay? Your brain needs coffee. Why? It is so anti-inflammatory. It has 1,000 phytonutrients. It's the real vitamin C. It has everything, the brain, the quercetin, and the other phytonutrients. It is so important, and I mean it. What's the other one? What's the other vitamin? Vitamin E, the real vitamin E. Exercise for your brain. It's connected. Strong legs, better brain. I've said this to you. Your muscles are the best thing for metabolic health. Why? Because they're bins to store. And if you have bigger muscles, if you are stronger your muscles, the stronger your brain. Remember what insulin does. So that's why I talk about the real vitamin E all the time. Change your fuel. You know what people don't eat enough of? Fat. You need fat. Why do you think I call you fathead to my friends? Hey, fathead, how are you? It's a compliment. It's a compliment. Your brain's made up of fat. DHA. Did you know your brain was made up of long-chain fatty acids like DHA? Guys, if you look at a brain, you go, okay, that's pretty ugly. But what is it? It's fat and water. It's cholesterol and water. That's what your brain is. It's like planet Earth. It's almost all water and fat. Water, lots of it, and fat. Why do you think do you know that your brain cannot tolerate to be dehydrated? Brain is headquarters. If you don't drink enough water, you know what it'll do? It'll suck up your water from the rest of your tissue in your body. Your brain cannot be dehydrated, even by 1%. Now, let me just say something else. People who get headaches all the time, they don't realize it. They're dehydrated. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a little red light that went off in our head? On the top of our head says, add water, add water, add water. Now we don't. And people don't realize how dehydrated they are. You need vitamin W, water. And you need fat. Fathead. You ever, well, you probably haven't, but you could Google it. If you Googled, what does an Alzheimer's brain look like? What does dementia look like in brain? It shrinks, shrinks, shrinks. It looks like a prune. Your brain's not supposed to look like a prune. It's supposed to be full of fat and water. It's an electrical grid. Think about Niagara Falls. I always talk to you about the kidneys and Niagara Falls, but your brain, think of all the neurotransmitters. What do you think makes that electrical grid work? Water, fat. Guys, that's why I love DHA. I know all omega-3s are good, all of them, but some are better. Some are best. And DHA, when you go to the store and you look at a label, how much DHA is in that omega-3? That's the key. I'm a DHA guy, but there's a reason why I'm like that. I don't do it just because I like the DHA is easy to remember, you know. It's because it works. Fathead. I like saying that. Call me fathead. Okay? Call me fathead. Okay, now. So we've anything else that I wanted to mention? Okay, let me just see here. Okay, I talked about water and coffee, vitamin D, DHA, B12. How about, I like curcumin, guys. Now, somebody asked me this question yesterday. I appreciate it. Somebody asked yesterday, I don't know if it was on the private Facebook group or not, or someone that emailed in there, what's the difference between turmeric and curcumin? Well, listen, turmeric, okay, is a spice, and it's good for you, but not therapeutically it's not. Why is that? Because you don't absorb it very well. And the, okay, you don't absorb it that well. But curcumin is an extract of turmeric. And in combination, makes a very bioavailable. Curcumin is very anti-inflammatory, very good for the brain. I take it. I take it every day. I'm thinking of my brain health. You get my age, guys. One of the greatest fears we have is losing your memory. You know how many people I talk to? They're scared skinny of losing their memory. Well, who wouldn't be? Big issue today. Okay. Now, if you have any questions for Friday, okay? If you have any question for Friday, send them in, okay? Because we really appreciate that. Have I told you lately that I love you? I haven't? What? Well, I do. I love my audience. Thank you for the 70,000 likes on Facebook. That is incredible, guys. Thank you for sharing this program with your friends and family. We appreciate that. Thank you for referring your friends to the Doctor Is In podcast on your smartphone. I was showing a senior citizen. I said, let me see your phone. I said, you got a smartphone. They said, I do? I said, yeah, it's a smartphone. You see these apps? And they said, oh, okay, that's called a smartphone. Yeah, you got a smart device. And I said, now I'm going to show you how to get to the Doctor Is In podcast. Okay? And you have an app for podcasts. And I said, now type in Dr. Martin or type in the Doctor Is In, and it will come up. And then you can get a notice. You get a new one when all the new ones come in. I was shocked that I even know how to do that. I found someone that was even more challenged than I am. I haven't found many, but I found a few. Okay, my generation. We're terrible. Okay, guys. We love you dearly. We'll talk to you soon.